Afternoon to dear participants and viewers. In the connection of the webinar series, today we have the stalwarts, the Dr. Mohammad Ghulam Rahman. He is the professor and the former Chief Information Commissioner of the Bangladesh. As you know that the today's webinar topic is the changes in the Bangladeshi media and impact of pandemic. But before that, start to the webinar, I want to introduce our esteemed guest, Dr. Mohammad Ghulam Rahman, sir. Dr. Mohammad Ghulam Rahman sir served as a Chief Information Commissioner of the Bangladesh and retired in the 2018. He was a professor in the Department of Mass Communication and Journalism at the University of the Dhaka, Bangladesh. He was the Pro Vice Chancellor of the Daffodil International University, Dhaka, Bangladesh from 2014 to 2015. In a career spanning 4 decades, he served the University of Dhaka as the chairman of the Department of Mass Communication and Journalism in 1990 and 93 and 2004 to 2005, and as one of the provost of the university. He worked as Papua New Guinea University, PNG University of Technology, as professor and head of the Department of the Language and the Communication Studies from 2009 to 2011. Professor Rahman did his postdoctoral research as a senior Fulbright scholar at the University of the Oklahoma, USA. He's obtained his PhD in journalism and mass communication from Mysore University, India in 1986. More than 70 of his research articles have been published in the various international and national journals. He has edited and published the 15 books and the manuals at the both home and the abroad. The government appointed him the chairman of the Bangladesh Sanghastha BSS, the national youth agencies of the country. He was the chairman of the committee for the drafting laws of the National Broadcasting Commission in Bangladesh. He is a member of the Bangladesh Censor Board Appeal Committee. He is the editor of the DIU Journal of the Humanities and the Social Sciences. Dr. Rahman visited 30 plus countries on different academic and the professional programs. He is the Bangladesh country representative of the Asian Media Information and the Communication Center, AMIC, Asia. He has served the United National International Drug Control Program, UNDCP, as National Media Specialist. He was the Vice President of the Commonwealth Association for the Educators in the Journalism and the Communication, Canada. He is also a member of the advisory group of the UNESCO. He is the life member of the Bangla Academy. He has been awarded Lifetime Achievement Award by the Department of Journalism and Media Studies of Jahangirnagar University recently. He participates in television talk shows frequently in various channels. So on behalf of the Padel University Management, we welcome to you, sir, and over to you for your master talk and today's webinar topic, changes in Bangladeshi media and impact of pandemic. So now over to you, sir, and we welcome to you, sir. Again, we welcome to you, sir. We welcome to you, sir. We welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rawat. It is a great privilege for me to participate in such a webinar, and you are so gracious to introduce me with my background and all that. And I'm really happy that I'm joining such an webinar with a good lot of students and also the teaching staff, and that matters. The point is, this pandemic made us to communicate virtually, and it became a reality in life, and it becomes the real situation that we never thought in this line that we'll be presenting ourselves to the students and people like this. So the pandemic has created a lot of challenges, at the same time made scope of some opportunities also. And before pandemic, we never thought of participating webinar or online seminar like this. Although we had to connect over international seminars, symposiums, and conferences, but not very often online. So the pandemic made us to participate in online conferences and seminars. Anyway, so today's topic is on Bangladesh media and the changing faces in pandemic. So we need to describe the media scenario of Bangladesh and all related things in media which is prevailing in Bangladesh. So I think you are getting me, my voice and all that. Am I all right? Am I clear to you? Audible? Visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. So Parul University is very cordial and gracious to give me the opportunity. Anyway, good afternoon, everybody. It is my privilege again. I'm telling that uh, when we think of mass media and communication, we think it is not a regional or local communication that takes place. Usually, communication takes place throughout the world. Communication takes place apart from one corner of the world to another corner of the world. So, the internet and the new technology has created the opportunity to contact and connect people across the world. And Bangladesh is no less than that. It is also participating in the same way. So you understand the mass media situation or scenario which is present in our lifetime. What we understanding from last 4 decades of my experience as a teacher in the university, I find journalism education has started in Bangladesh in 1962. So it is about 58 years of formal education on journalism or media has started, has emerged as a discipline in the University of Dhaka. So Dhaka University is the oldest university in this region. It established in 1921. So a journalism department started with its postgraduate diploma in 1962. So the journey started with postgraduate diploma, and then we started a master's course for 2 years, and 2 years means master's preliminary and master final, but postgraduate diploma journalism degree holder also could join in the master's final year of the course in the University of Dhaka. At the same time, many of you might be knowing that there's a big culture of democratic institution as the newspaper in Bangladesh. So there are few hundreds of newspapers. It was once it was more than 1,100 newspapers were there in Bangladesh, but now it is about 600 newspapers are getting published in Bangladesh from different parts of the country, and also about 100 newspapers are coming out from Dhaka metropolitan city and its surroundings. So you understand, a lot of newspapers coming up, but among them, maybe 2 dozens, you can say, have good, circulation, and also have got the consumers or the readers. So that's why the newspaper reading habit is there, but in a limited way. As far my knowledge goes, I understand the reading habit of newspaper in India is quite good, and also in this region, particularly in this subcontinent, I should say, is quite reasonable, but not that high, I should say, because maybe about 25 lakhs of printed newspaper used to publish in the country, and mostly the daily newspapers and weekly newspapers. There are some other types of newspapers are also there, And we have got also government owned and controlled radio stations, and also Bangladesh Betar, and another is Bangladesh Television, that is also government owned and controlled by Ministry of Information. Apart from those, we have got private television channels, and there are about 40 plus television channels are in operation in the country, and we have got about 18 community radio stations, and also a couple of FM radio stations in Bangladesh. So the popular newspapers have got very good circulation, which among which we can name like Pratham Alu, Jugantor, Samokal, Daily Tefak, Daily Star, uh, Daily Observer. So there are a lot of popular papers are there. But at the same time, the quality of journalism and the freedom of speech and freedom of expression, everything we can discuss slowly. And you understand that journalism is in practice with a lot of challenges in the country. And we have achieved our liberation in 1971 from Pakistan, and we had big bloodshed and sacrifice of martyrs of 3 million people. So a lot of women and females, they sacrificed their life also. So it is a very costly uh, war, costly liberation struggle that we participated. And in 1971, we liberated our country from Pakistan with the Mitra Bahini, we call it Mitra Bahini, with the cooperation and help of Indian Army, and also the Indian people, because 1 crore people, 10 million people evacuated from the country and got refugee. They took shelter in India, and we got all sorts of helps and cooperation from the people of India and also the government of India during that time in 1971. And I share my delight and pride with you that I also participated in this liberation war as a freedom fighter in Bangladesh during that time in 1971. So we have got, there are different realities that we had during the liberation struggle. We had service of printed newspaper, we had got also the service of Shadhin Bangla Betar Kendra, that is a radio station, rebellion radio station. It was called Shadhin Bangla Betar Kendra, and it served national cause and national liberation. And so it was very inspiring radio station during that time. So after that, after the sacrifice of 30 lakhs of people, their lives and the properties of so many other people, we ultimately got the country's liberation. And after the independence of the country, we had a very big challenge. War ravaged Bangladesh. We need to have reconstruction of our all infrastructure, roads, highways, bridge, culverts, buildings, because the Pakistani army had destroyed our infrastructure, and also they destroyed our roads, bridges, and culverts, and everything. So it was the situation that we had to rebuild our country from the scratch, from the burned soil. So, and with the leadership of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, we could make it. We started that progress slowly after the liberation. So The mass media also started blooming after liberation, and, we are finding the country has been enjoying the freedom of expression and speech. Soon after, we get our constitution in Bangladesh within within a year, and this is mentionable that there a long list of daily newspapers, weekly newspapers, and bi-weekly newspapers were existed, and now we have got few hundred of newspapers are there, and at the same time, these newspapers are free to write whatever they like to report, you know. And our television stations, particularly the private television channels, uh, uh, about 40 plus television channels are there, and they are telecasting their programs, news bulletin, and all other things. A lot of talk shows, each and every television channel is producing and telecasting every day, and a lot of political discussion, social discussion, educational discussion, everything is going on, and everybody is free to talk whatever they like. So this is the reality of our democratic practice in the country. And of course, we tell you that the the practice of democratic culture in the country is much more interesting, and of course facing a lot of challenges at the same time. When we tell you that challenges, the challenges are of different types. One is a basic challenge is uh, particularly for the broadcast medium and also for the internet-based web uh, web media, and also the web portal and newspapers websites. They are facing some problems because of new act and law, new Digital Security Act uh, uh, has been enacted in the country, and that uh, a new law for the uh, uh, it was planned to give the security and safety to the uh, consumers and netizens, the the internet users and the web and online users. But we find sometimes it is very challenging for the working and professional people like journalists and other media people, and they're facing some sort of challenges sometimes because of the abuse of the law in most cases by the police and some people from the government structure and from the administration. So this challenge is there, and because of that, sometimes we find the newspapers are getting self-censored and I mean, some sort of censorship of practice is there by the editors of the newspapers themselves. It is not in most cases by the government. Government is not intervening or interrupting the practice of journalism or professionalism, but the editors themselves sometimes take care of not printing some sensitive or delicate issues. So, just to avoid the confrontation with the new Digital Security Act that existed in the country. So, anyway, this is the situation, and at the same time, we find the uh, the situation of pandemic has come in a new dimension. But before that, I should mention that you might be understanding and you might be observing the reality of internet and technological growth throughout the world, and the habit and practice of journalism and social media is very big issue for the modern people of any kind or anywhere in the world. So, like anywhere in the world, the people are taking advantage of internet, and they are talking, they're participating, they're connecting people anywhere in the world. The same way, the media, they are also using internet in the same way, and they can connect in a multi-directional way. They can connect people anywhere, and they can get response from anywhere, and anybody can respond to anybody's uh, uh, communication. So in this situation, we find there's a big challenge for journalism as a profession. There's a big challenge for the traditional print medium. There is a challenge for the radio and television also, just because of the web-based or internet-based mass media practice, internet-based newspaper, internet-based, I mean, web-based online news, online television, and online radio. And you are getting, because of the internet, you can get everything on your palm, on your Android telephone. A, a smartphone can converge all sorts of information, all sorts of media together. So because of this advancement of technology and revolution of this technology of communication, the world has become a very different world we have created now, and this different world will be facing in such a way that throughout the world, the traditional journalism practice is changing. And you know, in many ways, the printed media is reduced in their publication. Many of them I mean, many of the printed newspapers have already ceased their operation. Many of them have cut their circulation. So this is the situation. And I understand this is prevailing in India also, in any other country of this region also. But one thing is interesting, that when I find a report of UNESCO regarding the world freedom of expression and practice of new trend of expression through internet, and I presented the world report of UNESCO freedom of expression in 2018 in Bangkok, and where I could see that the most of the countries in the world, they have reduced the circulation of printed newspaper except Asia Pacific and Asia. So Pacific and Asia, they are still in the operation of printed journalism. So this is the practice, and I guess the practice will continue for some more time, or maybe for some more years. So this trend is a reality of the social media also and online media. And in this area, in this reality, I find the pandemic is another dimension that has put to the media practice and the situation. You must recognize that this pandemic is in such situation that is created throughout the world. It is unexpected, undesired, and people became astonished. We never faced such an experience of pandemic like this. So the world is facing the same way. And because of this, about 9-10 months, we are finding our lifestyle in a different way. We are finding our professional hazard and professional challenges. We find the economic challenges also equally making our life miserable, and also people are dying. So altogether, we have got a very big challenge to the media people also. And this has created a new situation to understand. We people need to also understand that The pandemic has made us to the real life experience of how to maintain our life with very limited resources, how to maintain our thinking pattern and livelihood in a very new way of our survival. So these all other things, you know, has got a new challenge. In its, it is a psychological warfare, I should say, for the world the people are facing. But there are people who are uh, 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 who do not uh, like to face the way now we are facing the pandemic. There are people in many Western countries we see they don't like to wear the mask or they don't wear to oblige the country's lockdown or the restrictions. They thought it is their curtailment of freedom. But in a society, if we like to stay, if we like to survive, we have to accept the challenges and we have to follow the social rules, the administrative rules, and the rule of law. So otherwise, we do not exist in a society. Otherwise, we do not, we cannot sustain our livelihood. We know there are economic challenges, there are a lot of other pressures, psychological pressures, financial pressures, family pressures, a lot of other pressures are there. And facing all other odds, we find this challenge we'll have to tackle with the wise understanding of perception of facing the real new, I mean, the new normal life. So the new normal will become another way of practicing our life and also the media habit. After the pandemic in Bangladesh, the circulation of newspapers has cut down phenomenally. And first few months from March, some newspapers have ceased their publication. They could not bring out issues. And some big newspapers, they could publish, but the people in general, the subscribers or the readers of newspapers, they they do not subscribe, and the circulation has lost. So maybe now again from last few months, the circulation of newspaper is regaining or reviving, but still the half of circulation is there in my estimation. So it is not getting the full length circulation of newspapers as it was. So this is again a challenge for the journalists. Many journalists lost their jobs. Many journalists lost their regular payments or allowance and salaries. So these are the situations we find in broadcast media and television and also in newspapers. And also, the students are not cannot attend classes as they could. They are only connected online. They're only connected by internet. And you understand, I'm also taking classes of the university online, but I don't feel that every day or so regularly we can take classes online so interestingly. It is not possible. It is not. We never expected like that, and we don't get that much of interest that what we could make in classroom with the presence of the students. So you understand how the students are facing. I understand their plight, their problems, uh, their limitations of attending classes online. And over the months, I understand the people, particularly the students who are connected with the online lecture classes, they don't sometimes find very good internet connection. The connectivity is poor sometimes. Sometimes it is connectivity is lost. Sometimes they cannot make it comfortable with their devices they have got, particularly the mobile phone or the laptop or the computer. So this is the reality of the developing countries in Bangladesh, like any other countries in this subcontinent. The situation of Bangladesh or India or Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bhutan. So we find a lot of commonalities and a lot of standard pattern of practice are there. But Bangladesh uh, has faced a lot of challenges for their upliftment of their mm, uh, uh, personal and also societal development. Particularly, in the recent years, Bangladesh has achieved a lot of things in comparison to other SAARC countries. And we have surpassed in many indexes of development. We have surpassed even India. Particularly the longevity of people, the uh, the economic progress or the growth of GDP, particularly uh, even in pandemic, Bangladesh is the country which is the highest growth rate in South Asia. And you will be surprised to know that the fastest developing countries in the world, among the 10 fastest developing country, Bangladesh stands on sixth. So the way we are achieving, the way we are progressing is something special. In cultivation of rice, it is going to be the third position by the observation made by the US Department of Agriculture. And in the cultivation of cultivable fish, the Bangladesh has raised to third position. And in the uh, RMG, ready-made garments, ready-made manufacturing of garments, Bangladesh is second, and sometimes it will be topping. I don't know when, but it is second, and sometimes it is a very challenging remittance that Bangladesh has earned in this pandemic situation also. And when in many of the countries in this region are doing very challenging growth, GDP growth, Bangladesh has surpassed all of them, and it is about plus 4% GDP is there in Bangladesh. So in the pandemic is a big challenge, but we understand the challenge has created some opportunities also, some scope also. Particularly the people in the villages, in the rural areas, they are not much contracted by COVID-19, and they are of less experience of COVID and of the situation. So they are working like almost almost normal situation they had before pandemic. So this is the situation that I understand. So at the same time, not only a challenge of progress is there, we are achieving, we are availing, and we are participating. But at the same time, you see, uh, there are democratic institutions which are also in challenge. We find the challenges by the political institutions, political parties, and also the participating institutes like community organizations, community-based organizations, voluntary organizations, non-government organizations, like that. And the practice of right to information in the country is also there. It started in 2009, just after 2 years uh, of introduction of law in India. So I know in some states, in some provinces of India, the right to information practice is very good, and maybe we can follow those sort of practices that should be followed in Bangladesh. But still, the practice of Right to Information Act by the people is not much. It is very limited, and you see, the Right to Information Act, when enacted in 2009, uh, the law is very progressive, the law is very advanced in comparison with many other countries' right to information law. But recently, we know the law adopted in 2016 in Sri Lanka is very progressive to the international standard, is very progressive and very, I mean, compatible to the people, and also it's very high class law they have adopted. And also recently in Afghanistan, they also adopted right to information law that is also good for them. But the practice of RTI is not very good in Pakistan and not good in many other countries of SARC nations. So this is the situation, and you see, I should highlight a little bit of media systems and educational systems in Bangladesh. As I started with my the uh, emergence of journalism education in 1962 in the Dhaka University, we find about uh, more than 12 countries. I'm sorry, more than 12 universities, uh, public universities. They are offering journalism and communication and media studies courses, and there are about 15 private universities who are also offering similar type of courses like journalism, communication, media studies, film studies, like that. And the pattern and syllabus and course curriculum are almost almost same or maybe similar. The trend from my experience in India and other countries in the subcontinent, I can say that the standard of education in Bangladesh, particularly the university education, particularly journalism, communication, and media studies, are of similar type, and sometimes in many, in comparison with many other universities, it is of very high quality. And there is a combination of professionalism and also theoretical aspects. You see, because I studied in India for, I mean, in long back in 70s and 80s, so I know the situation, and also I can say that the development of journalism and media education in India is also very understandable and very good. So that sort of trend is also adopted in Bangladesh. But one thing is special in Dhaka University and in some of the universities in Bangladesh, that is, we have got the professional journalists or editors also part of academia. They also participate in offering courses in the university, and also in the examination committee. They participate. I mean, they are invited, and also at the examiner and question setters, the professional journalists, or I mean senior journalists or editors, they are invited or included in the panel. So that's why it's a very good combination or punching of both professionalism with the theoretical or academic approach of media education in Bangladesh. And this trend is very much appreciated in anywhere I know. And you must be recognized that in media education, and there is a professional confrontation or contradiction. Sometimes it is with the between the academics and the professionals, I should say, and it is sometimes not very fair and not very expected also. But it is throughout the world. This trend is there. It is a fight between these two groups. One is academia, another is professionals. Anyway, I think it is about more than 30 minutes. It is 4:10 in my time. It is your time is 3:40. So I think I should leave the talk now to the floor, and I mean the people should people are connected, they can participate in the talk, they can ask me some questions that I try to reply as I can, as much as I can. And if they can comment or they can share their opinion, or if they have got anything, any observation, they can also express very easily. And interestingly, I find Dr. Rawat is very interesting person. We have got connection, very good connection from long back, and he was tagging me how I can participate with his activities. But though I could not oblige all the time, but today this is my opportunity that at least I could find him. So thank you very much, Dr. Rawat, and all other people surrounded, and also who have facilitated the uh, lecture. So I'm very much thankful to all. So floor is yours, and you can raise points and questions or comments, whatever you like. Please, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your master talk on the changes in Bangladeshi media and impact of pandemic. Sir, in this connection, sir, I'm receiving a lot of the questions from the participation viewer side as well as from our student side. But before that, that's as per the what matters side, the information. I want to put the few things that the at present scenario, the more than the 9 crore people is affected from the COVID-19 in around 200 country, and approximate 9.5 lakh death only done, sir. And in USA, total cases is around more than 2 crore, and total death is around 4 lakh, and out of total population of 33 crore. And in India, sir, more than 1 crore people is affected from pandemic COVID-19 virus, and the total death is more than 1.5 lakh out of 140
No,
crore
you know that.
people. Yes, and in Bangladesh also, sir, more than 5 lakh people is affected from pandemic, and more than 7,000 death
7,000
out of
is died so far.
si-
Exactly.
yes, sir.
And very unfortunate that
Uh,
I share one point. I was affected. My family members were affected, and I lost my very unfortunate that I lost my wife in July in this Corona COVID-19. So this is very
yes,
great loss for
yes,
me in the family, and so you please pray for her. That's my
yes,
request.
yes, yes, sir. We pray and please
She was
accept
in
our
the
deep condolence for the sir.
she was in the hospital for 52 days. She fought like
Yes,
anything.
yes,
52 days she was in hospital. Anyway, we have tried that much. Thank you very much.
yes, sir. And yes, sir, please accept our deep condolence for the same, and we pray from the God for the rest of the peace, RIP for that. And so, sir, in this connection, sir, we have received a lot of the questions from the audience side and the viewer side in this connection that you already told about the changes in the Bangladeshi media. And sir, I want to know from the viewer side that the which one of the most influenceable TV channel and the newspaper or the mass communication medium in the Bangladesh, and why? What's the reason behind this, sir?
Okay, thank you. As I understand, you have asked about the most circulated newspaper and big television stations and why they are popular like that. Okay, I think it's a very good, relevant question to know Bangladesh. We have got. I told you that we have got few hundreds of newspapers and daily newspapers also. One is called Prothomalo, is a daily newspaper, and another is Bangladesh Pratidin. Both the papers have got good circulation. I mean, the highest circulation in the country. They have got policies of uh, criticizing the government and establishment, and at the same time, they support the spirit of liberation and they uphold the spirit of liberation or independence of Bangladesh. So this is very genuine reason for their circulation. And the television stations, there are several channels are equally popular, like Ekattur TV, like Channel I, 18 Bangla. There are several channels are there. They provide news bulletin. They provide drama, serials, entertainment programs. and like all other, I mean, regular programs. But some Indian channels from West Bengal in Bangla are very popular in Bangladesh. Do you know that? You don't know that. There are some channels are very popular, and also some Hindi channels are also very popular in Bangladesh, particularly for serials, for drama, and all other things. Thank you.
And another question is, sir, what do you think about the political pressures and the advertisement pressure and other kind of the pressures group on Bangladeshi media?
You see,
About
nowadays we find uh, government do not have much pressure. You see, government has got limited role to play to the operation of newspaper and television. But government has got a mechanism of providing the government advertisements. Government advertisements, the government offices, they sometimes advertise for tenders, for some other circulars. So those are government notifications. So those are government advertisements, and those are covered by, as advertisements, those are covered by some newspapers. Okay, and their rate is comparatively less than the commercial advertisement. So it depends how the newspaper get the private advertisements of the different companies, different industries, different brands and all other things, and different mass consuming product and commodities. So those are interesting, and they can get, because of their circulation, highly circulated newspaper get more advertisements than low circulated newspapers. But the highly circulated newspapers have got the higher rate also for advertisement. So, but still, the Pratham Alo, then daily Bangladesh Pratidin, Delhi Ittifaq, they have got quite good circulation. But first two are of top rank king newspapers, and there are about 8 to 10 newspapers which also draw very good circulation, but not very high. But still, I think Bangladesh need to have more circulation of newspapers. In my understanding, my personal understanding, I believe that there should be more circulation of the newspapers, because the country is getting more literacy. I mean, the educational literacy is more, and it is just comparing to the other countries of this region. It is not bad. It is good. So that's why the circulation of newspapers should be more. But because of pandemic, there is a big change in pressure, and habit is changing. And I do not know in India whether everybody who used to purchase newspaper or subscribe newspaper, they are also equally purchasing newspapers and getting newspapers at their homes and offices. I do not know. But in Bangladesh, because of COVID-19, the newspapers are not delivered in our homes, and mostly in most of the places. So it was restricted, and still the restriction is there in some houses. So the circulation is suffering, and maybe half of the circulation before the pandemic is revived in a way. So the circulation is still bad, and the publication, I mean, the advertisement is also equally very less in the newspaper now. And the television channels, they are also not getting much advertisement now. And for their sustainability, for their economic viability, it is a big challenge for them now. Just because all media survive with the advertisements. Otherwise, it is not possible. The media cannot sustain their growth or their life. so it is a real challenge now.
Yes, sir. One more question I've received from the participants, and this question is that what kind of the guidelines raised by the Bangladeshi government for the media during the COVID-19?
Okay, for for COVID-19 practice, the government has not uh, 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 the government has not imposed any guidelines, but the media themselves, they have uh, laid out some points to be made, particularly the BJC, Bangladesh Journalist Broadcast Journalist Center. This is an organization, Bangladesh Broadcast Journalist Center, BJC. They recently published a publication that uh, the mass media fighting corona. So this is the in Bangla it is written corona economy lorai, that how the media fighting corona. So they have given some circulars to be maintained by the journalists, the working journalists, particularly the the broadcast journalists for radio television, because they have to go on the spot, and how to go to the spot, what sort of precautions they need to take, and what sort of measures they should take before going, and how to tackle them, how to maintain them, how to report them. So all other things are there, and they have published in this book. They have published some uh, photographs also. You see how they should be. Uh, there are photographs they published, different types of, uh, and how they are tackling the situation, and how the challenges survived. So they are, and but they have given a set of rules that should be followed by journalists, and what sort of health security they should maintain, what sort of PPI and mask or and gloves should be used, and how to take care of washing hair of their washing hands, and how to maintain other health measures. So they've all other things they put in series of writings. They put all these things. And here I have also written, the first article is written by me, and time to time they have changed the activities also, and what sort of activities the journalists should follow, and how to follow, what to do that. So they've given a set of rules and formalities and ethical points of view, how to address them, how to take care of the privacy of the patients. So this all of the things they have taken care of. So, but from the government has already put the some simple direction that they should follow like that. But they have not given any set rules or set ethical practice. The government have not issued anything like that. So this is the situation.
Sir, one more question from the participants. So, what kind of
Yes.
the media policies developed by the media houses for the surviving during the COVID-19 and after COVID-19?
You see, it is also a very big challenge because of the private ownership of the newspaper and televisions. The individual owner is doing their own way and strategies. They are maintaining their own way of survival, because many newspapers are not in a good position now. Many television channels are also facing the financial constraints, and they cannot pay their full salary to many of their staff. So they're partially paying them and like that. But we said from different point of view, the university media teachers, the and also the media professionals, we have given some sort of advice to the media owners that they should sustain uh, uh, their publication, and also their broadcast, their programs and all other things. But at the same time, they should pay to the staff as much as they can, because we understand that their earning or their revenue is very limited now. But if they can at least give some or portion of their salary to the staff, the staff can survive. So this is the situation. But government has taken a step to rescue or to salvage the media professionals by giving some lump sum, fund, lump sum money to the need of the media professionals who are badly in need of money. And we also found uh, some media organizations, they could give some food packet, maybe some rice, some pulses, lentils, oils, and all other essentials in a bag. They put for few weeks. They gave like that. They distributed like that. So in the middle of the COVID, we found like that. So this was also a very good practice for the people who could not beg, at least, who could not, who could really face the real challenge of the COVID. So mostly those are voluntary steps taken by the media organizations and also some of the media owners, but not in all the organizations. That is the limitations.
Another question is the what kind of the negative things and the fake news is spread during the COVID-19 in the Bangladesh?
Okay, I think this is a very crucial, very good question. Because of the, you see, the the expansion of the social media that made our life sometimes miserable, sometimes very compatible also. It is a very mixed pattern of our reactions. So what I understand, most of the social media, they wanted to help people by giving some sort of news, some sort of tips, how we should uh, uh, adapt or how we should take care of ourselves for to fight the COVID and the social problem. But often we find the social media published or transmitted such information which are not valid, which are not real, or which are not, uh, uh, I mean, authentic. So those are the fake information that we got often, but we never knew them that they are fake. But only we could know that those information are fake only when some good information or authentic information, reliable information have transmitted or passed through. So I understand the some social media, they just shared their information, whatever they got. They 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 did not check or verify any source or any authenticity of the news or information. Just they shared, but those are not relevant. Those are not, I mean, scientific. Those are not fact based. And we also find a lot of information came from India also, from Indian practices, because media is now international. Social media is also very much international. And there are a superstitious, lot of superstitious messages, practices came through social media. You know, I don't want to hurt anybody's personal belief or personal feelings, but we find a lot of traditional and quack things have come to via social media, and sometimes by the pressure of those social media, the mass media also, particularly the newspapers and television, they also shared some of those social media information which are not authentic, which are fake. So there's a big problem that we faced. But slowly, the situation has changed. Now we find maybe better information, the qualified information we find available in the media.
So we have the lot of the questions and the last question because
Yeah,
already 4 p.m. is complete.
sorry, আমি একটু লাইনে আছি, পরে কথা বলি। প্লিজ, সরি,
So yes, sir, no problem.
প্লিজ।
Because sir, already I think time is complete. We have the last question because we have the number of the questions from the participants and audience side. So, sir, the any comment and the any opinion, your opinion about the COVID-19 affected countries, especially on China or on America, to take the their steps to COVID-19 and about their COVID-19 management.
You see, one thing is very special. In China, you see, they could control, they could restrict the situation in their own country, and they have expressed their desire to extend their cooperation to other countries also. And in Bangladesh, we found some Chinese doctors and some medical help came for very special cases. It's not in general. But the condition and situation in USA, in the UK, in Brazil, in so many other countries are so miserable. So in that was a thanks God, thanks the Almighty, that we are in a far better situation in Bangladesh. Only it is a country of about 170 million. I mean, 170 million people, but only by the grace of Almighty and God, only 7,000 people died. But you see, as you said, in India also 150,000 already died. Indian situation is also is very grave concern, I should say. But the USA and also Brazil and some other countries, they're facing bad. At the same time, you see, where there is more discipline and control is there, they are surviving, they are doing better. Like Vietnam, like Cambodia, like even in Kerala, the situation is better than other states of India, isn't it? So, so it is like that. So we do not have any other, I mean, situation internationally, but the vaccine has made a big issue. I don't know how much it will be tackled. We'll be getting vaccine from India, from World Health Organization, and also from some other countries, and China also, I think. But I don't know still because it is not started vaccination. Maybe it will be starting the last week of January. So let us see how it works. So that's all. So at the same time, the COVID is a big challenge, and for the media particularly, they have somehow survived. But I don't know what will be the next. I mean, the next situation that we'll have if the COVID is still persist or still if we cannot maintain or restore our normalcy, we'll have to face the situation and we'll have to calculate our strategy. We'll have to think of how we can make it. So it is a challenge for everybody, not only in Bangladesh, maybe the other countries also. So similarly, we'll have to think. Let us see. We are hopeful.
Thank you very much, sir. So finally, sir, you told about the Bangladeshi media before the independence, after the independence, changes in the Bangladeshi media and challenges in Bangladeshi media, and during the pandemic, the various kind of the situation in change and the changes is come in the personal and professional life, GDP growth, and etc. etc. So we also received the so many questions, sir. I receive around 40 to 50 questions from the participants, and I'll hardly asked to around 7 to 8 questions. So I will send through mail to you, sir, because I respond email and on WhatsApp
Thank
and
you. Thank
as
you.
well as on the Facebook link. So again, thank you very much, sir, on behalf of the Parallel University Management and the I thankful to you and thank you very much. You gave your kind consent for this the webinar, sir. Thank you very much, and I also thank to our technical team or Parul Institute Management, Parul University Management for conducting this kind of the wonderful webinar. And again, thank you very much, sir, for your master talk and your wonderful talk, and you enlightened to us about the Bangladeshi media and the impact of the pandemic. So thank you very much, sir, and we want to love to see you again and again on the PU webinar platform. So
Yeah, I'm
thank
also
you very much, sir.
thank you. It is my privilege and great honor for me that I could at least share my experience and knowledge with you. So maybe, I mean, future is there. We may be connected, maybe more next time, more often. I don't know, but we'll be in touch. I think. Thank you very much. Thank you all who have participated.
Thank you very much.
Thank all, I
Thank
mean,
you very much.
people behind the scene. I thank you all. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you,
Okay.
sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.